even though Alan had been in the middle of a sensitive investigation. Alan was 65 now, and in failing health, and Harrison saw the strain his family was living under. "I received Alan's telegram," he said. William said, "Father's been waiting for you." He looked at his mother. "I'll take Harry back." "We will talk later," Joan Pinkerton said, her blue eyes smiling bravely. As they proceeded down the hallway to Alan's in-home office, where he spent more and more of his time these days, William said, "We have had a communication from a mining company in Arizona. You ever been to Arizona, Harry?" Mandell took his eyes from the paintings, awards, and mementos that lined the wall. "Been through it a time or two. From what little I have seen of the territory, I have no inclination to go back." William Pinkerton grinned. They stopped at a door, and he knocked. From the other side came a voice Harrison had grown to recognize as clearly as if it had belonged to his father. "Aye? Come on inside." After over 40 years in this country, Alan Pinkerton still retained his heavy Scottish accent. William opened the door. "Harry is here." "Aye, good. Come on in, Harry. Have a chair." Alan rose weakly out of his own chair and clasped Harrison's hand. The grip was not what it had been only a year before. William stayed until Harrison Mandell was settled and his father back behind the desk, then left. Alan Pinkerton looked haggard. His hair had thinned back, and his once brown beard was now burdened with considerable gray. But his blue eyes still burned with the fierce intenseness of a man who loved his work, loved life. Alan Pinkerton was never a man for small talk when business needed to be taken care of, and now he got to the point. "We have been in communication with a mining firm in Arizona. I immediately thought you to be the right operative for the job, considering your experience with the Molly McGuires and the strikes of '77. Another labor management dispute, sir?" Alan shook his head. "Nay, this is something different. It seems, being in such an isolated location, the mining company, it is named Mina del Agua Mala, pays most of its debts with postal money orders." Alan paused for effect. "And a large number of them seem to be missing." Mandell departed the mansion with a new assignment, a new cover, and a book under his arm that would tell him all about being a mining engineer, or at least he hoped so. He caught a train to Deming, New Mexico, where the Southern Pacific made connections with the Santa Fe. From there, westward, hell seemed to come a little closer with each mile left behind. And here he had been deposited. Yuma, Arizona. The very pit of Mephistopheles' domain. "Another round, mister?" Mandell turned away from the grimy window and grimaced at the bottom of the beer mug. "No, thanks." Warm beer was just one more annoyance of this place. The bartender wandered off to inquire after another fellow's needs, seemingly unconcerned with the heat and the bugs, waving an arm like a horse swings its tail to bat away the flies. Mandell's elbows found a comfortable perch on the bar as he looked out across the shabby room. The few men in the saloon, scattered among tables as dried out as the land, were for the most part the same men he had seen here the day before, and the day before that. And the beer had gotten no better either. He had hoped it might when weighed against the misery of the mounting days. The delay had begun to chip away at his usual well-fortified supply of patience. He found it easy to understand why in the last 4 days he'd stood on the sidelines of 6 disputes being solved in what Mandell was beginning to accept as an eminently practical, bare-knuckle fashion. He wiped his brow with a dusty coat sleeve and glanced out the window again. The Southern Pacific Station was farther up the street.